so many boys struggling in school and in society at large? It's not about intelligence or potential. It's about systems, expectations, and support. And the data is clear. Boys are falling behind in reading, in graduation rates, in college enrollment, and in life outcomes like income, health, and mental well-being.
Come to Sally, boys. Mama's gotcha. Come to Sally.
So what's going on with the boys? Stick around to find out. From the earliest grades, boys are often at a disadvantage, but boys often grow up with confusing or contradictory messages about what it means to be a man. Have you ever heard the expression that girls develop faster than boys? Well, it's true. And these quantifiable differences are most notable in the brain, specifically in a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex.
Check this out, you're not gonna believe this. Louis Armstrong called. He said he wanted to sing my opening jingle. Can you believe this guy? Sincerely Sammy, Sincerely Sammy Show.
Why do boys seem to be struggling these days? Let's start with school. From the earliest grades, boys are often at a disadvantage. On average, they develop verbal and fine motor skills later than girls, yet early education emphasizes exactly those skills. So boys are more likely to be labeled as disruptive, less mature, or simply bad students. And when boys act out, the system punishes them hard. Boys receive about 3/4 of all suspensions, and they're far more likely to be expelled. Instead of being guided or supported, many are pushed out of the classroom entirely.
It lifts and separates.
Some scholars and educators suggest that one possible solution is to delay boys from entering school by 1 year, giving them time to catch up developmentally to their female peers. This practice is called redshirting and is becoming increasingly common in places like the US, Australia, and Scandinavia. The classroom environment doesn't help boys either. Education today often rewards quiet, compliant, sit-still learning, but many boys thrive in active, hands-on, movement-based learning. When they don't get that, they disengage, they tune out, and they fall behind. Now let's talk about culture. The world has changed, but boys often grow up with confusing or contradictory messages about what it means to be a man. On one hand, we criticize toxic masculinity. On the other, we don't offer many health models of purpose, responsibility, or emotional expression. So boys either retreat into silence or lash out. Meanwhile, they're bombarded with dopamine-heavy distractions, video games, social media, pornography. These digital spaces reward escape, not growth. And too many boys are checking out of real life, school, work, and relationships in favor of these short-term pleasures. Then there's the family piece. Roughly 1 in 4 kids in America grows up without a father in the home, and the effects are especially harsh for boys. Boys without involved male role models are more likely to struggle academically, drop out of school, engage in risky behavior, and experience depression. And when boys do fall behind, there isn't often a strong net to catch them. In schools, only about 1 in 4 teachers are men. And mentorship programs for boys are far less common than those for girls. It's not that girls don't need support, they absolutely do, but boys need it too. And right now, they're not getting enough of it. Economically, things aren't looking much better. Many traditionally male-dominated jobs, like manufacturing, have vanished. And new industries like healthcare and education aren't attracting young men. As a result, college campuses are now 60% female, and a growing number of men are opting out altogether. Some call it a crisis of purpose, and if we ignore it, the consequences won't just affect boys, they'll affect all of us.
So, what's the solution?
Well, it starts with rethinking education, offering more hands-on, flexible, and movement-friendly learning environments that work for a variety of learning styles. We also need to provide more positive male mentorship, especially in schools and communities where boys lack stable role models. And culturally, we need to stop shaming boys for being boys, and instead offer them a clearer path to manhood that values empathy, purpose, and strength without aggression. Because here's the truth. When boys thrive, society thrives. When they fall behind, we all lose out. It's time we pay attention, not just to the symptoms, but to the systems, and start building a world where boys are set up to succeed. Now for our song of the day.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I've become so numb, I can feel you there.
Linkin Park's Numb, released in 2003, became one of the band's most iconic songs, and its music video is one of the most watched rock videos of all time on YouTube, with over 2 billion views. The track also made history when it was blended with Jay-Z's Encore in the Grammy-winning mashup Numb Encore, showcasing the band's genre-blurring influence and solidifying their global crossover appeal. Now let's talk about the science!
Science! Science! She blinded me!
Have you ever heard the expression that girls develop faster than boys? Well, it's true. And these quantifiable differences are most notable in the brain, specifically in a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex relates to the portion of the brain located on the anteriormost, anterior meaning front, posterior meaning back, portion of the frontal lobe, occupying areas of all 3 surfaces of the frontal lobe, the orbital, medial, and lateral surfaces. The prefrontal cortex is the brain's command center for impulse control, decision-making, focus, and emotional regulation. In boys, this region tends to develop more slowly than in girls, often by 1 to 2 years. That delay can obviously have significant consequences, especially in school settings that reward self-control, organization, and verbal expression from an early age. A less mature prefrontal cortex means boys are more prone to impulsive behavior, restlessness, and difficulty focusing for long periods. They may struggle to follow multi-step instructions, regulate emotions, or sit still during long sessions, all of which can lead to frequent discipline, lower grades, and a negative self-image as a bad student. Over time, this can trigger a cycle of disengagement. Boys fall behind academically, receive more suspensions, and are less likely to see themselves as capable or college-bound. That early academic disadvantage can spill over into adulthood, influencing everything from job prospects to long-term health and stability. It's not a matter of intelligence. It's timing. If we fail to account for the developmental gap, we risk mislabeling boys as problems rather than recognize they simply need different support at different stages of growth. But enough about that. I think it's time for some cat.
Catherine Manitou. Betty Davis, we love you. Ladies with an attitude. Fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing.
And hey, drop a comment below. Do you think delaying boys from starting school by a year would help level the playing field, or would it cause more problems? Okay, that's it for this show, he, she's, and these. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, have fun, be safe, and try to learn some stuff, damn it!
Talking about credit, where credit is due. Snippet and slap together for Sammy. What a wonderful career.